Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mary. I'm a homeschooling mama to a rising kindergartner and second grader, and we are just a few short weeks away from starting our new school year for the 2024-2025 school year. So with that being said, I'm starting to plan out everything in Trello for our curriculum. So if you guys are new here, we don't actually use a paper planner to plan. I utilize a project management tool app called Trello. You can access it on your computer, desktop, iPad, your phone, mobile device. It doesn't have to be Apple, it could be Android, any of those things. So I like that it's accessible from any device that I'm utilizing, but also I like that it is easily to replicate your schedule, so you're not having to rewrite it every time every week. There's a lot of copy and paste functions that are easy there. It's also visually pleasing, and it's just overall makes me way more efficient when we're planning our homeschool. So I have a whole playlist on how we use Trello. I'll link it up above for you guys and down below in the description. I've got quite a few videos on the playlist that you guys can go check out, giving you information on how to use it as a planner. And if your question is not answered in any of those videos, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll be happy to answer that for you. But today's video is going to be about our planning for this upcoming year. I'm not planning the whole year. I've never been somebody that has done that. I'll plan a few weeks ahead of time, normally about 6 weeks, and then I'll stop and then I'll let us get through that because inevitably something needs to be tweaked or changed, and I don't want to have to then change that whole thing throughout the entire year and then us get 8 more weeks into the school year and then something else changes and then I have to change that. So you see where I'm going with this. I would prefer just to do small chunks of it so that if we do change anything monumental to our schedule, I'm not having to rewrite the entire schedule for the year. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera around onto my computer and show you what I've already created for this upcoming school year and kind of show you how I'm planning everything out for this school year. We're doing an around the world study with Build Your Library Level 0. We've got Blossom and Root Space Study. We're bringing in some Ambleside Charlotte Mason cultural riches into our morning times. We've got Spanish from Homeschool Languages. We got all the good stuff. So I'm going to show you how I put that all into Trello. And then also one of you guys actually was kind enough to show me how to share my Trello board with you, and I'm going to go ahead and try and do that, and hopefully I do it right, and I'm going to put it down in the description box for you guys so that you guys can see and play with it. And I think you can copy it and create a template your own that you can then edit for your needs. So hopefully I do this correctly. So if I did, that should be down in the description box as well for you to access. So enough of me rambling. I'm going to turn this around and get into the computer so you can see Trello on my desktop.
Okay, so for those of you that have seen my Trello videos before, this will not be anything new to you, but I thought I'd just start at the home page for those who haven't seen one of my Trello videos, just to show you how I organize all of my school years. So this is the main page. This is where I have all of my workspaces, and each workspace contains one of my school years. I also have a workspace for personal things like grocery lists or packing lists for travel or things like that. And then I also have a Mother Academia board, which is basically I want to learn things too and enrich myself. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of studying on my own on the side, and I have all that information in there. If that's something you guys want to hear more about, definitely leave it down in the comments. I haven't really gotten fully started on it yet, but it is something that I would like to implement this year if possible. And I'd be more than happy to make a video on it if you guys want to hear about that. But let's go back up here. So last year was first grade and pre-K with my girls. This year is second grade and kindergarten. So let's take a look at the boards. So these are all the boards for the different segments of our schooling that we're going to be learning about this year. So I'm going to just click in here to the first one, library books. Now, before I go over our weekly and daily timetable schedule that I want to share with you real quick, which is the whole point of this, I thought it would be helpful to see an overview of how I organize our entire school year. So this isn't obviously part of our school year organization and scheduling, but library books are very important. And this is how I keep everything straight. So I take a couple hours during the summer, I go through all of our curriculum, and I figure out what books do I need to put on hold at the library and what weeks. And then every 2 weeks I create a card I'll click into week 1 through 2, and I say, okay, I need to put these on hold at the library for this week and this week, and I do it all together in one fell swoop about a week before week 1. And then it takes them a couple days to get them all together, and they say, hey, come pick them up, and then I click on them and I say, great, got them all, so we're good to go. And then I do that every 2 weeks. What I also have here at the top is our library books that are checked out right now. So per the due date, I have the books listed underneath. And then as I'm done reading them and I put them in my bag to take to the library, I'll check it off. And then when I get to the library and I return them, I click delete on it, just because I might borrow from friends. I might borrow from one of our libraries. There's one that's really close to us from another county that I could borrow from. So just keeping it all in one spot just really helps me out, and it tames the chaos and insanity in my brain. Next, I have a board for our summer school, which was about 6 weeks. I try to keep each board about 6 to no more than 8 weeks. I feel like that's manageable on one board and makes sense visually. So then the rest of our boards are segmented out based on continents, because our main curriculum we are using is Build Your Library Level 0, which is an around the world study. So hence the continents. So we're going to be learning about all the geography on North America from week 1 to 5. Then down here, week 6 to 9 is South America. Week 10 to 14 is Europe. 15 to 19 is Asia. 20 to 24 is Africa. 25 to 27 is Oceania, so that is Australia and New Zealand. 28 to 30 is Antarctica and the Arctic. And then you'll notice all of a sudden it jumps to prehistory, because Build Your Library Level 0 is only a 30-week curriculum. The rest of her levels are 36 weeks, but since level 0 is supposed to be kindergarten, she makes it more gentle and shorter and only 30 weeks. So we normally run a 36-week school year, so I decided it would probably be pretty smart to add on a prehistory unit that is also 6 weeks and from Build Your Library. And so once our Build Your Library Level 0 is done and complete, this will take its place and we'll continue to do all of our language arts and our math. And then the following year, we're going to start our ancients history and start our 4-year rotation of all the different eras. So I thought it'd be really good to do a prehistory unit before we hop into ancients. Now let's go into week 1. Oh, and then you'll notice for each of my boards, I have something that pertains to it. So I have a dinosaur for prehistory. I'll just show you these because these are cool. I have an iceberg or a glacier for Antarctica, Arctic. Oceania, we have Sydney Opera House. Africa, I have the giraffe from the Sahara. Asia, I have a little market outside with some women with umbrellas that are beautiful. Europe, I think this is the Amalfi Coast. And then North America, you can't really see it, but it's like the Grand Canyon back there. So this is where we're starting. I had a few weeks from our summer program on here, but I'm not going to go into that because I have some personal information on there that I don't want you guys to know. But here is a whole week that I've already created. So I've done 2 weeks so far. And I thought it'd be best, instead of it like previous videos where I show you actually how I do it, I don't want to show you the mechanics of our schedule this time. I want to show you what we are actually doing and how we're scheduling all our curriculum. Because I know that if you watch any of our videos previously about our curriculum, it seems like we're doing a lot, but I want to show you that it's not as much as you think it is, and it's definitely manageable in the way that I'm scheduling out. So this is how I'm doing it. So if you're a Charlotte Mason person, you could call this my timetable. If you are any other curriculum, this is just our weekly schedule and our daily schedule. So I think the best way to go about this is to start at the top and go through how we're just implementing everything, and I'll kind of tell you my estimates from time so you can see how long this is going to take us per day, etc. So first off, we're going to start every day with a morning time. Now, last year we tried to stick to 4-day schedule for schooling. We would sometimes do a 5th day, but this year we are officially doing 5 days of school. But if you see here, Fun Friday, it's more of our fun things that we like to do. So it's not so much rote memory, things like that, and rigor. It's going to be more fun things like handicrafts and art and stuff like that. So getting back to morning time, So morning time is when we're going to be bringing in a lot of our Charlotte Mason curriculum that we're snagging from Ambleside. So every day we're going to start off talking about the date and the weather. My oldest knows how to do the date. We'll do it in Spanish as well because that's our language that we're learning. But my youngest is still learning months, dates, how that all works. So we'll always go over that. But even when they do learn it, I think it's just good to say, hey, today is July, 9th, 2024, and it's a Monday, just so we know where we are in the span of time in life. But then also weather, observing the weather, what's going on. Is this a good day for us to go do our nature hike? Do we need to change our clothing, etc.? And then the next thing we will do on Mondays in morning time is I bought these character cards from September & Co. They're beautifully done, really good character cards. And we're going to go over different character traits every week. We'll probably do about 1 to 2 a week, and it'll span the whole year. And so we'll do them Mondays and Wednesdays, I think is when we plan. So our first one is attentiveness. So we'll discuss that for a few minutes. Then pulling this from Ambleside online, we will be reading 1 chapter a week from Paddle to the Sea. So we'll do that on Mondays. So the first chapter will be this Monday. Then we'll do some paddle map work that we're doing alongside it because it's a geography living book. And then we will have a free read that we're always doing at any time for literature. So we will be reading Charlotte's Web for the first 4 weeks. And I figured it out. It's about 6 weeks every week that we need to read. So we'll do 1 to 2 chapters per day. So we'll do 1 chapter on Mondays. Tuesday for morning time, date and weather, then Aesop's Fable, which we are also pulling from Ambleside Online. We're going to be doing their schedule for year 1. So it turns out to be about 2 fables a week. And then this day we're going to read 2 chapters of Charlotte's Web. Wednesdays, date and weather, our second character card, which will be availability, and then another chapter from Charlotte's Web. Then Thursdays, again, date and weather, that second story from Aesop's Fable, and another chapter from Charlotte's Web. And then Fridays, it gets fun. So we'll do our date and weather, of course. And then we will be doing our poetry from Build Your Library Level 0. It's animal poetry. It's a National Geographic book. It is beautiful pictures. The poems are beautiful in there. I've already done some pre-reading. I cannot wait. The girls are going to absolutely love it. And it ties into the animal study that is included for Build Your Library Level 0. We'll also read a final chapter for Charlotte's Web. And then every other week, we will either be doing a composer study or an artist study. So we'll start with composers, so Beethoven. And then the next week, we will do a picture study with Monet. And then we will also do any kind of art that day. So this is from Build Your Library. We've got to prepare a passport for the whole entire year-round study. And then our handicraft, so term 1 is hand crocheting. Then let's get all this back up here. So I'm just going to scroll this up. Before I get into language arts, the next thing I wanted to touch upon is Spanish. So we'll be scheduling Spanish twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays after morning time. So if you click in here on Tuesdays, we will do the lesson. So 1 lesson a week is what we're pacing because they're pretty hefty lessons. And then what we'll do is on Thursday morning, we'll either finish out the lesson if we didn't or do the review for the lesson. And then my oldest will do her work page from her workbook for level 1. Now, something else to note is we don't just do Spanish during these 30-minute pockets on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We speak Spanish throughout the entire week when it makes sense, when we can incorporate it into our daily lives. But these are going to be our 2 formal lessons for the week. All right, then after Spanish is done on those days, and then after morning time on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we will move into our language arts block. So something to note, I have a checklist for both my girls. Charlotte, my youngest, basically does the same thing Monday through Friday. She does one of her lessons with Ordinary Parents Guide to Teaching Reading. She does a workbook page or 5 from Get Ready for the Code because she loves the workbooks. And then she does a handwriting page from The Good and the Beautiful kindergarten level. So I'm not going to talk about her every time we pull this card up. Emery, my second grader, her schedule changes, but the cadence is, just so you guys know, she does Writing with Ease, level 1, 4 times a week. She does First Language Lessons, level 1, which is grammar, 3 times a week. And then All About Spelling, level 2, 3 times a week. And then she does handwriting cursive 2 times a week. And I only have her do it 2 times is because she does copywork the other days. So on Mondays, She's just going to do copy work from our literature reading, so Charlotte's Web, and then one of her grammar lessons. This will take maybe 10 to 20 minutes, not even. Like, I doubt it would be 20 minutes. But I've already gone through and I pulled the copy work that she's going to use from Charlotte's Web. Mrs. Arable put a pitch of cream on the table. I'm not using the workbook from Writing with Ease because I actually found I want to be able to pull the content from the books we're reading. And I just didn't want her to do another kind of workbook thing. So I'm not using the workbook. I'm just doing the actual Writing with Ease Fundamentals Level 1 through 4 book, and I'm creating my own narrations and my own copy work. And it's actually not been that hard planning out the first couple weeks, so I think we'll be able to keep with it. Tuesdays, again, Charlotte's doing the same thing. Emery, she'll be doing her narration from week 1. She'll be doing one of her handwriting pages, cursive kickoff, and then she'll be doing one of her spelling lessons. Wednesday, Emery will do her second copy work from week 1, and I have it up here. First language lessons, grammar lesson, and then a spelling lesson. Thursday, she will be doing narration, a handwriting page, and then a spelling page. And then Friday, it gets fun because, again, it's Fun Friday. So Charlotte, my youngest, will be doing her copy work page. It's like a 2-minute thing from Blossom and Root Level 0. And then my oldest will be doing a mini poem from Blossom and Root Level 2. She loves the mini poems from their curriculum, so we're pulling that through to this year. She'll be doing one of her grammar lessons. She loves word searches, so I went online and I found all these free word searches, printed them off and bound them in a book, so she has one per week that she can do. And then also she will be starting a computer unit that she'll just be doing once a week on Fridays. We're going to be doing Core Knowledges Grade 1 computer lessons, and then we're going to do that for the first half of the year, and then the second half of the year we're going to do Grade 2 computer, because I think it's important for them to get exposure to understanding how computers work. And then if we stick with this to Grade 5, they start doing coding and things like that. So if Emery likes that, that'd be great. And then you'll see I have a checklist down here that says Together. This is from Build Your Library suggestion for literature. She suggests if you want to bake an apple pie. We'll see how we feel by Friday, if we even have the energy to do an apple pie. But if we do, we're going to do it on Friday, and I think it'll be a really great way to wrap up the first week. If not, we will just hang tight on that apple pie and not do it. So one other thing to note before talking about the next subject, still in line with language arts, you'll notice on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I have Emery's reading. This is an independent reading that my oldest daughter will do 3 times a week. And I'm going to ask her to do about 20 minutes a day on those days. It doesn't mean that she'll necessarily do it right after we're finished with language arts. I just have it here. I don't know when we're going to schedule this. It might be when she does her nighttime reading. She might do it, during quiet time after lunch, or she might do it right after language arts. I'm not sure, but I'm just putting it right there, and I just want to notate that's why I have it there. And then Monday through Friday, after language arts is done, we'll do a lesson each for both of my girls. They both use Math with Confidence. So we'll scroll all that up. That's super easy. Okay, and then after math, you'll see we do our Build Your Library Geography. This changes day to day what we're doing, but it's no more than about 15 to 30 minutes of work per day. It may look like a lot because I've got a bunch of different things, but it's really, I really timed it out. It's not much. And then if I scroll past all the geography bits in here, you'll see that we have Monday through Friday our history lessons. So we're doing American Girl history. Each of the girls gets 4 weeks. So since we're doing the first 2 weeks during the summer, the girls wanted to start it early and try it out. And I was like, well, actually, that's a great way for us to kind of get a feel for it. So I thought that was a good idea with nothing else on our plate. So we'll be starting week 1 with week 3 from Kaya, because we'll get 1 and 2 done during the summer. And it's 4 days a week. And then on that 5th day, we will be doing our science from Blossom and Root, Level 0 space. That takes no more than 30 minutes to a day. It's pretty easy. And then nature walk I have scheduled for Tuesday afternoon, but I have that TBD because honestly, that's going to move around. That's going to be based on our schedule, if we have other appointments going on, what the weather is like, but we'll be doing that once a week. I just have it hanging out on Tuesdays for now. So just going over everything I discussed, I wrote down the timing for everything. So each of our buckets of subjects, so morning time, language arts, math, geography, and then history all will take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. Some of them will even take probably 20 minutes a day, but I'm just trying to be more conservative. So that means between all those, it'll take about 2.5 to 3.5 hours a day to get all this done. Now, I'm also not really taking in consideration there's opportunities for me to do something with my youngest while my oldest is doing independent work, which will save us some time. So I really didn't even take that into consideration. So really at the most, we should be doing 3.5 hours of school. Now, that doesn't include our nature time. But that's not really, in my opinion, like something I want to schedule. Like that's just stuff we like to do when we go on our nature walks. But altogether, I know some people might think that's too much time for a kindergartner and a second grader. But the thing is, a lot of the stuff we're doing is fun and they don't realize that they're learning a lot of times. And so they don't get burned out on it and they ask to continue to do things. So I feel like we'll be fine. If I have to cut anything anywhere, and I hate to say this, I will probably cut American Girl history because I've thought about this. If I have to cut American Girl history, I can add it back in units alongside our American stream of history that we will start learning in another year. So if we feel overwhelmed with the schedule, I have no problems cutting it. It'll be sad for me because I really am excited about it. So are the girls. And I think you guys were too, because then I wouldn't be able to make videos about it and review it. But I'm just being fully upfront and honest. If we have to cut somewhere, it'll be history, and that'll take another 30 to 45 minutes of work off our plate per day. So that's pretty hefty. So, but I think we'll be fine. But if not, we've got that in our back pocket.
Okay, guys, I hope that was helpful for you. I know I like seeing how other people plan, even in just a simple written planner, right? I know that Trello is a little bit, not more complicated, but there's a little bit more to it since it's an actual application on a device. So there's some learning curve that needs to happen there as a brand new user. So hopefully these videos are helpful to you if you are a new user of Trello. But I also just love seeing how people plan out their schedules, how they're going to fit it all in. We are doing a lot this year. I am not naive to the fact that we have a lot on our plate. So in order to get it all done, we really need to stay organized, and the schedule helps me. There's probably gonna be some things that we don't do some weeks and some things I drop, and I'll update you guys in these videos as we go along with that and what does change. But I know that this is going to give us the greatest chance. I'm saying this, my computer's over here. The computer, aka Trello, is going to give us the best chance to be able to do all of it and enjoy our entire school year. So if you have any questions about anything I went over today in this video, please leave it down in the comments. If you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you guys hang around here, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.